Right, in this question we are asked to solve, well, this is an inequality, but really I just do that as if it's an equation. So let's just write it out again. 3x minus 5 is less than 16, and I want to get the x's on its own, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides, and that'll just leave 3x on the left, and on the right I'm going to have 16 plus 5, which is 21. How do I get the x on its own now? Well, I divide by the 3 on both sides like that, and 3x over 3 is x, that's rather the point, and 21 over 3 is 7. So I have x is less than 7. For part B, right, this is a little bit more complicated, and I'm going to go to my friend Groff Groblet. Okay, if you don't know who Groff Groblet is, he's a very helpful chap who finds the answer for us. So Groff Groblet find answer. He's not really a person, he's just a mnemonic that I use for solving equations and rearranging formulae. And there is a tutorial on it, of course. So, but otherwise just follow what I'm doing. So the first thing Groff Groblet tells us to do is to get rid of fractions. That's what Groff means. So get rid of fractions. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to multiply both sides of this by 4. Okay, and when I multiply the right hand side I need to be a little bit careful to put some brackets in there. The point of multiplying the left hand side by 4 is that the 4's will cancel and I just get left with 11 minus w, and on the right I've got 4 times 1 plus w. What does he ask us to do next? Well, Groff Groblet asks us to grob, okay, which is, of course, you will have spotted, get rid of brackets. So get rid of the brackets. How do I do that? Let's just write down grob. I get rid of the brackets by multiplying the 4 by the 1 and the 4 by the w there. And that gives me 11 minus w is equal to 4, that's 4 times 1, plus 4 times w, which is 4w. Now what does Groff Groblet say? Well, he says let. What on earth does let mean? Well, it means lump everything together, or possibly let's examine terms, but lump everything together is better, which means I want to put all the non-w's on one side and all the w's on the other side. Now I'm actually going to put the w's on the right, which may be a little bit unusual, but is because I don't like minus signs, or at least a lot of people I know don't like minus signs, and you might be one of them. So what does that leave us with? If I add w to both sides, I get 11 on the left, and I get 4 plus 5w. And then I keep examining the terms. There's a 4 on the right I no longer want, so I'm going to subtract it, and I must subtract it from the left as well. And that gives me 7 is equal to 5w. And going back to Mr. Groff Groblet, you know what to do now. Well, it says fin, which is factorise if necessary. That doesn't really come into this because we're not rearranging a formula. It then says divide. Just as we did in the inequality above, we now do our division. We divide by 5. Let's just remind ourselves we're dividing. And we divide by 5 on the other side too. The whole point of doing that is that the 5's on the right cancel, and I just get 1w on the right, and I've got 7 over 5 on the left, and that is w. Okay, it's written the other way around, but it means exactly the same thing as w equals 7 over 5.